For those who are born with the red zodiac, well, year 2026 is the year of clash against the horse zodiac, the grandeur of 2026. So therefore, whenever they are clash, which may means that they'll be bound to have a lot of changes, challenges, somehow it's going to be more dramatic because this is going to be a water and fire clash, which invoke a lot of dramatic emotional clash, a lot of temperamental things doesn't go according to your plan. So therefore, let us discover what are the inauspicious star and also the auspicious star, which can help you to mediate all these potential risks. First of all, let us talk about the inauspicious star. Of course, the first thing you have is the year breaker, which is the forces of change, where you may face a lot of change of plans. Somehow whatever you planned last time is going to be get rid over, so that may throw you off the course, especially if you have planned a lot of stuff this year. Apparently there are needs for you to shift your plan and also your trajectory, so therefore change may be also help you to get rid of things that no longer serve you, because change need to happen when there are time for you to level up yourself as you are growing. Of course, there are certain things you need to get rid of, right? So therefore, for example, like certain old people, old connections, people who no longer serve you, maybe this is the year for you to fully embrace, to rekindle and build a more meaningful connections with new people, which may be more empowering you in your growth journey. And of course, maybe there are certain workspace issue, politics that's holding you back, so somehow change are needed so that you can move yourself to a better positions. So therefore, embrace the change, sort of like finding the excuse, you've been wanting to make that major move. Now apparently this year is the year of change. Okay, so next is the star of calamity star, which brings you a lot of natural disaster, because this star may means that maybe whatever you do when you are traveling, maybe in your workspace, they are bound to have affected by all these natural disaster like typhoon, flood, avalanche, or earthquake. All this potential risk could be affecting your progress. So therefore, if you are running a business, of course you need to check out or do some weather forecast to check out the development in terms of the natural disasters, which is prone to higher risk affecting your work. And so therefore, this star remind you to invest into proper insurance or any safety protections. And of course, for business owners or people who work with data resources, well, I would suggest you to increase your safety or backup, or look for reliable backup solutions, because when all this kind of change may be throwing you off course, because the next star, which is the obstacle, which means that they are bound to have all this delay, setbacks, things somehow doesn't work according to your plan. They are bound to have some delay, things doesn't go perfectly as much as you have been planned for it. So therefore, this is just remind you to be adaptive and always be flexible. Don't rely on the main plan, and always have backup, and always know how to deviate or be flexible to look for alternative solutions when there are blockages is holding you back. So therefore, this is the star that is going to put your patience into test. Okay, next one is the great consumer. Well, this is the star of basically every time when they are clash, they are bound to have all these unexpected expenses. Means that your expenditure will be growing up. You'll be forced to invest or spend money to solve problem. But the good news is, if a problem can be solved by money, well, of course you just buy your time. Just pay money to get things sorted out. Don't try to do everything all by yourself, especially because the red zodiac are someone who are very wise, they are very knowledgeable. Sometimes when you know too much, you are not willing to allow help to come in. You rather try to do everything all by yourself. Ended up you got stuck, and then eventually you are trapped. So therefore, this year is not the time for you to try to get everything's done all by yourself. Do invest into getting helps, and of course try to buy solutions if it's possible. Okay, so therefore, learn how to use your money wisely, becoming the great consumer who know how to spend for value rather than spending due to all this emotional turmoil. Okay, next one is the sky sadness, which brings you the deep emotional somehow just invoke or resurface, because every time when the water and fire clash, it will invoke certain hidden emotions that you have been suppressing, your past remorse or regrets, or all the sadness or the good feeling that you have. Somehow it's just going to be contradictory, it's going to be clashing, and this may causes you to suffer from all this anxiety, panic attack. Somehow you feel things no longer worthy for you to keep pushing through. So therefore, this star just remind you to be mindful and don't allow this to hold you back, because emotions are here to help you to regulate, to require you to pay more attention, to be mindful, to understand what is going on internally. Because the next star, which is known as the sky cry, is a star of mental fatigue. When you are burning out, when you try to push through your agenda, you try to push through your goal, your pursuit, somehow deep internally you have all this emotional struggle, because you are yet to come into term or realign coherently with your inner emotion. Because maybe you have been abandoning your inner child, your deep emotion, and your expectations just shoot up off the roof. So therefore, this may causes you to experience brain fog. Somehow, when things doesn't work according to your way, and you just find yourself feeling, uncertainty, all this setback somehow feel or pressuring you, make you feel that whatever need to happen doesn't work according to your plan, somehow you have tendency to give up. So therefore, this star is just remind you to be mindful, and especially for those who are going through their own spiritual awakening, your spiritual pursuit. This is the star where we call it the awakening paradox, coined by Carl Jung. So perhaps you can do a little bit research to understand what if you awaken, what if you understand how the whole world works, how will you become? Sometimes once you awaken, you have tendency to abandon, to let go all this life pursuit, and eventually you are stuck in all this emotional distraught or giving up. So therefore, this is the star that may affect you emotionally. Okay. Next one is the prison inmate, which signifies maybe you are being trapped in a structure or in a conflict, and this may cause the risk of being imprisoned due to a legal offense, or being stuck in certain lawsuits, or confrontations with the authorities may also causes you to being imprisoned, being caught in or confined in the tough situations. So therefore, this year I would suggest you to avoid direct confrontations. In case if you wanted to prove your case right, I would suggest you to leverage on third party or pay someone else to help you to solve the issue. Don't try to confront directly, because this is not the most auspicious year for you to do so. Instead, learn how to leverage and buy help, invest into other people to assist you to get what you want instead. Okay. Next one is the star of flying blade, which may brought you some physical injuries. So therefore, this may quite serious, because it could represent sharp object causes bleeding, which means that maybe you are driving, somehow there are some car is clashing onto your path, or maybe there are some dangerous item could be falling your way, which may eventually causes you to suffer from all these unnecessary kind of injuries. And worse, this is also means that if you're handling dangerous equipment like knife, machineries, while do pay extra precautions, because somehow when you are going through the clash, it will causes you to be more absent-minded, you are highly emotional, you are still stuck in all this emotional turmoil, and this may causes you to can't control your body alignment properly, which may lead you to suffer from all these physical injuries. So do pay attention for it. Despite all this negative influence, there are still some auspicious stars which can help you to shift the game around. So first of all, you have the Imperial Charm, which is a star of divine support and advisory, which means that this star will be able to bring you some helpful mentor, someone who will be able to inspire you, who could uplift and elevate your own energy. So somehow this year, you find that there's a lot of inspirations around you, and especially if you're willing to look for a helpful mentor, advisor, consultants, who can give you some advice, help you to retune or fine-tune your own energy so that you can focus on pursuing your goal or meaningful goal that worthy for you to put in more effort. Well, somehow this year there'll be a lot of people who are willing to share their knowledge, their resources, their connections, who can help you to elevate your own energy so that you can stay on the happy side. You're more optimistic to overcome all this potential challenge. Okay. Next one is the star of month emptiness. This is sort of like the star of detachment in terms of mindset, this is going to help you to detach yourself emotionally. You no longer react emotionally based on the external intimidations. So basically, we call it the star of ignorant is bliss, where you no longer attach yourself emotionally over every single things somehow you will start to discover your life become better, because you no longer trouble yourself by attempting on every single things is happening around, because in life we have limited amount of time and focus, right? So therefore, shift your focus, choose the battle that worthy for you to pursue, and this star can help you to totally focus back on what truly meaningful for you, and knowing how to ignore and reduce the priority over matters that doesn't serve you in your future. So therefore, this star is highly beneficial if you're seeking or going through a inner spiritual awakening. You are going for certain mindful meditations activities which is going to heighten up your conscious, so that you are more conscious in terms of what kind of drama or opportunity you wanted to attract into your life. So therefore, this is a star that help you to detach yourself emotionally, and all these matters no longer affect you emotionally or physically. Okay, next one is the star of sky fortune. This is a star of harmonious blessing which can help you to pacify your fear, your stress. It's going to help you to harmonize all the situations, as long as you are optimistic that change need to happen, but it's not going to throw you off the course or not try to stop you. It just help you to go through the period of change. So therefore, this star can increase your awareness, can boost your popularity, because when you are confident, you are more noticeable around your surroundings, your social circles. So therefore, this year you do need to learn how to activate the sky fortune and also the imperial charm, because once you are able to stable down your own energy, you are not that reactive, people will see you are more reliable, you're steady, so somehow more opportunity will comes to you. And of course, both of these star could help you to mitigate issue like obstacle, year breaker, calamity chart, where you are more mindful with your environment. Somehow people will able to give you certain hints. You'll start to be more aware with all these hints is telling you you need to, take care of your planning. For example, maybe some people are telling you, if you are planning to travel to certain place, and somehow there are people who talk about natural disaster, well, maybe you are able to avoid all these issues. So therefore, there'll be a lot of little subtle intuition notes that is coming to you, but you need to first know how to detach emotionally, so that you can reduce your the logic mind. You are not overly analyze every single things. You are more intuitive by observing the signals that is coming to you. So therefore, your role is to learn how to capture and recognize all this pattern intuitively, so that you are be able to stay proactive in terms of your planning, and it will definitely help you to overcome all these potential risks that I already previously mentioned. So therefore, this is the year for the red zodiac to focus not reactive but proactively, to notice all the signals, all the patterns, all the message, so that you're more awakened, you're more calm to overcome all these potential setbacks. So therefore, take this year as a sort of like a year to train your inner awakening, your inner awareness, so that you are more mindful over how to detach yourself from being a trigger or intimidated by all these irrelevant or unnecessary type of distractions. Okay, so therefore, for the red zodiac, it's not entirely painful as much as you all worried about. This is more about how you can stay calm and able to navigate the environment. Once you are able to manage yourself, people will somehow, your energy will influence your colleagues, your teams, people under your care. So therefore, if you being the leader are vulnerable, well, imagine how that affects the people working with you or those who are following you. So therefore, this is the year for you to further strengthen your inner resilience, your inner mindset, so that whatever comes, cool down yourself. You don't need to react. You just need to structurize, analyze what are the problem. The moment you are able to write down the problem, you're already able to solve half of the problem, right? So therefore, this year required you to lead yourself to be able to manage problem thoroughly, logically, and most of all, you don't react to all these external triggers. Okay, And let's talk about where the red zodiac is appear in your Chinese astrology chart, known as the Bazi, the four pillar of destiny, because whatever I have mentioned, it will influence different aspect of your life. For example, like the year pillar, month pillar, day pillar, and hour pillar, it will influence different aspect of your life as written here. So therefore, let us get started with the year pillar. So for those who are born in the year of the red zodiac, well, apparently the clash means that they are bound to have a lot of changes in terms of your social circles, your external environment. Maybe you plan to move or you're changing your environment. So this is highly beneficial. Maybe since the great consumer cause a need for you to spend money, if you are using this to invest into spending more time in changing your environment, renovating your living space, that will be beneficial. Or perhaps invest into joining new group of social setups, social new gatherings. Those will be, well, especially if you're meeting or spend more times to meet up with all these inspiring figures, people who are the go-getters, the proactive entrepreneurs. Well, their energy will somehow influence your perspective, of how you see the year breaker or the needs to change your environment or social circles. I'm not telling you to ditch off your old social circles. It's just that you need to set priority and also allocate more time for spending out with people who are going to supercharge your own energy. Okay, and please do avoid all this potential gossip, group drama, because their energy can be draining of yours. So therefore, just try to avoid, detach yourself away from all these dramatic confrontations. Okay, and next is the month pillar. So if you're born in the month of the red zodiac, well, this is representing your career or your business. Basically, this pillar is quite important. So therefore, let's talk about for career professionals. First of all, when there are clash, means that your workplace is going to be, there'll be more tensions, there'll be more dramatic argument, maybe certain shift or changes that is going to throw you off course, and most of the time this can be quite unpredictable. So therefore, you do need to be mindful in terms of what kind of circumstances or the current situations of your career or the company, and how your luck is going to stay or able to carry you through in this year. So therefore, I would suggest you to be proactively to analyze the conditions of your company, find out what kind of potential changes you need to make in order to elevate your status, because you have the imperial charm and also the sky fortune, which brings you helpful connections. Maybe your superior notice your ability to lead new departments, to lead new projects. If you are given such an opportunity, do say yes to take it. I know, taking up all this kind of new higher level kind of job role could be stressful, but hey, changes is coming. So therefore, either you change for positive or it's going to change for being demoted. You choose. Okay. Next, for business owners, well, apparently when there are clashes, it brings you changes in terms of your business model, how you build or maintain your business order, and plus when there are clash, it also signifies financial losses. So therefore, for business owners, do make sure you are able to collect all your payment or the money, because they are bound to have all this issue with your money and collections. So therefore, you need to secure your financial budgeting, financial planning, anything related to wealth. And of course, when they are auspicious star is supporting you, like the imperial charm, means that this year you do need to go out to look for mentor, maybe looking for someone who can advise you, help you to restructure, or perhaps help you to strategize your business development could be important. So therefore, this year, invest into upgrade and also safeguarding all your intellectual properties, your digital asset, your hardware, because they are bound to have all this catastrophe or the environment disaster, which can be affecting you and causes you to suffer from all these financial losses. And next is the day pillar, which governs your personal identity and also your personal relationship aspect. So therefore, having the red zodiac in the day pillar may signify changes in terms of your personal relationship. So therefore, when the clash signifies that maybe for the singles, suddenly you realize maybe it's time for you to get back into the dating scene. Maybe it's time for you to look for someone where you wanted to spend time together, for the rest of your life. And for those who are already in a relationship, maybe you are considering to getting married this year. And for those who are already married, well, maybe you are considering to welcoming a brand new members into the family, such as conceiving babies. So therefore, those are the potential changes. And also when it comes to your personal relationship, all the stuff that I mentioned may happen to your spouse. So therefore, they are bound to have all this emotional issue which is affecting your spouse. Maybe there are changes in terms of how you interact with your wife or with your spouse could help you to harmonize the entire situations. But fret not, because this year you have the Sky Fortune, which is the star of harmonious and blessing, and also the Month Emptiness, which can help you to be more understanding and no longer worried over the past issue, and focus how the both of you can learn how to grow and build a meaningful relationship onwards. So therefore, take this opportunity to learn something new together as a couple. Maybe by doing so may help to shed some light to empower the both of you to grow and build a meaningful relationship go together. And last one is the Owl pillar, which governs your children, asset, investment, or it could also represent your mindset and also your staff for the business owners or team leaders. So let's talk about investment. Well, first of all, having the great consumer means that there are higher risks of financial loss. So therefore, it's not that recommended for you to take on any high risky investment, and don't try to rely on luck, because apparently the luck is not on your side. Instead, you do need to look for mentor, advisor, people who have deep insights or deep informations, who can provide you a better, a more professional advice when it comes to investment and asset. And of course, if you have children, well, basically the clash signifies there are certain changes in terms of the lifestyle or the environment of your children. So therefore, this clash may signify you do need to learn how to interact with a new way of how children behave and think nowadays. So changes may also signify that you need to learn how to build a more meaningful relationship, change the way you interact with them. And of course, for team leaders, while the Owl pillar also represent your staff. So maybe this is the year that you need to, level up them, you need to promote them to take on higher responsibility. Maybe that is one of the best way for you to level up the environment so that you can do more. And lastly, when we talk about the Owl pillar, also it represents your mindset. So therefore, if you can, perhaps it's time for you to learn some spiritual studies or philosophical studies to help you to understand how the world works, how everything's interact and how it influences our emotions. So therefore, this is highly beneficial for you to seek for new knowledge, new growth journey that help you to further enrich your life philosophical energy. Okay, so therefore, for the Bazi, the 4 pillar of destiny, and let's talk about the strategic allies and also the best timing. So first of all, your best friend there is the Ox Zodiac. Well, apparently the Ox Zodiac have the Dragon Virtue and also the Emperor Star, which means that, well, the Ox Zodiac have all these auspicious, helpful noblemen, powerful connections, which is highly beneficial for you. If the ox don't know how to use it, then you use it on behalf of them. So if you're looking for help, looking for someone who can help you to solve your problem, well, the Ox Zodiac could be your best friend. And do remember, because the tree harmony that the Red Zodiac is forming is with the monkey. Well, apparently the monkey Zodiac have a lot of learning, new academic. They also be traveling. So if you're considering to learn new stuff, like going for your spiritual excursion or your spiritual pilgrimage, well, the monkey Zodiac could be one of the connections that you can tap onto their network. And of course, you form the tree harmony together with the Dragon Zodiac. Well, the Dragon Zodiac this year have a lot of powerful relief star. If you're feeling stuck, stuck with all this problem issue, well, perhaps the Dragon Zodiac can help you to introduce someone who can help you to solve your problem. Basically, they are the problem solver. So therefore, be on the lookout for all these powerful connections. In case they don't know how to use their stars, well, at least you know what they have, right? So you need to learn how to leverage and use their connections to help you to solve most of the issue. Okay, and do pay the attention over the month of January, April, and August, because these are the months that is heighten up your sense of ability to look for helpful connections, finding out or building meaningful connections, a social network connections. So these are the month for you to look for help is easier. And do pay attention over the month of March, June, July, and September, because they are bound to some dramatic issue, clash, things just doesn't work along. So therefore, you just need to pay attention and schedule your timing in terms of what you can do. So overall, the red zodiac is not entirely bad. They are still helpful and powerful connections which may increase your opportunity and be able to coach you, advise you, inspire you to move on. For career professionals, that may means you have the opportunity to get certain level of promotions, maybe change of role. So therefore, be advantage or be opportunistic to say yes and learn how to do it later. So do take this as a stage of growth, because every time you're growing, become better, become stronger. Of course, there are stages of uncomfortable, just like how a lobster shed off the old shell, and in order to build a new, bigger, solid shell, they need to go through that hibernation stage. So therefore, take this as an opportunity for you to hibernate, lay low. Don't try to invoke all these direct confrontations. Instead, you need to know how to detach away from all this emotional issue and focus more on delivering your values. And in case if you wanted to learn a little bit more on how to read your chart, because you may have up to 4 different zodiac, and each zodiac may have different interactions which may influence the way how you use the red zodiacs, auspicious and the inauspicious star. So do consider to schedule a consultations with me to help you to uncover the blueprint of how you truly works, your wealth opportunity, your talent, your hidden ability. And for those who are pursuing their spiritual path, maybe it's time for you to uncover who are your guardian angel, your guardian spirit, what kind of special or unique hidden ability that lies within you are waiting for you to uncover. So therefore, do not hesitate, do schedule a consultations with me to help you to uncover your ultimate potential. And for those who are looking to learn more about Chinese astrology, well, do join us in our annual Chinese astrology events co-organized together with my partners Pauline Cheng and Charmaine Ho, where we are going to combine all aspects or all layer of Chinese metaphysics into one workshop to help you in crafting your battle plan for the year of 2026. Do check it out, all the information in the link below. And that's all for this video sessions. And if you love what I share, please do like this video and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notifications icon to receive notifications every time I publish new video, because there are a lot of information that I will be keep sharing out to help you all to craft a meaningful plan how you can navigate the year of 2026. So that's all from me, Jonathan. And in case if you want to have more information, please do visit my website and follow my social media channel, because I have a lot of stuff that I may not be able to cover in this video. So do visit those connections. Okay, so that's all from me, Jonathan from Rendergy. I would love to see you all in the next video, and happy Chinese New Year.